Hey, welcome back, welcome back. Glad you guys could join me once again. This one is going to be part two of the hidden mixture of iron and clay. Part two, the hidden mixture of iron and clay. Part two. Okay, let's get on in. I hope everybody has had a very joyous Sabbath. Okay, on this Saturday, 25th. All right, let's get right on in there. Okay. Now, what you see before you will be a slideshow presentation of uh, modern day Jews or those that call themselves Jews. These we in the first part we have correctly identified who Esau was. Okay, who Esau is. Okay, we dug right in there and we found out that Esau is Edom, which is the Edomites. Okay. Then we found the Edomites. Then it took us to the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, which took us mixed with the Edomites, which is Edom, which is Rome. It pointed directly to Rome. And the symbols that I showed you about the cross and the Phoenician alphabet of the Semitic. Okay. Now we're going to dig a little deeper and let the heat get turned up and melt away the impure things that's mixed with the iron and clay so we can correctly identify who the real enemy is. They have hid themselves and put others in front of them to cause an enemy for Shem, Jacob's bloodline. Okay? The Shemites, they have created enemies for them to hide themselves. And we're looking at the Canaanites who are actually the Jews. Okay? And we're going to get right on in there. Okay? Esau, and I'll drop a link to this in the descriptions or either in the comment box so you can guys go look this up yourself. Okay? This is going to be more of a educational teaching as well as a spiritual teaching. Okay? Now, Esau, Edomites, Phoenicians, the Egyptians, Canaanites equal to Jews. They are all the same. They are all the same. Okay? Let's get right on in there. In a time, let me read this for you. 1 John 3, 7 through 17. 1 John chapter 3, 7 through 17. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is a devil. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin. He cannot sin. He cannot sin. For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. He is born of God. In this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doth not righteousness is not of God. Neither he that loveth not his brother. He that does not righteousness and he that does not love his brother is not of God. Okay? For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous. Marvel not, my brother, if the world hates you. Okay? What we're going to look at is, like I said, it's going to be more of an educational teaching. In the first part of the hidden mixture of iron and clay, we sought out to find out who the Esau was, which led us to the Edomites, which led us to the Phoenicians and the Canaanites, which pointed us to the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, now we're going to dig deep to the ones that actually hid themselves a little deeper than Esau and the Canaanites, which are the Canaanites. Okay, that is these guys that portray themselves before you right now on this slide. Okay, like I said, it's more of an educational teaching. Okay, in a time when children are the big focus in the country, the historical pagan sacrifice of children to Baal becomes relevant. Baal was the power worshipped by the Canaanites as God. He is the bull. He is the bull god and is represented by a bull. He is half man and half bull, the god of fertility, the sun god. Okay? The sun god. In Egypt, he was known as the son of Nile, or Ra. He possessed Akhenaten, i.e., he who is pleasing to Atan, the husband of Nefertiti, i.e., possessed by Ashtoreth. Okay? These deities have transformed themselves in different religions and in different cultures. In actuality, they transform themselves and morph themselves in different nations. Okay? The Canaanite God is the same as the Egyptian God. Okay? It just morphed itself. Okay? The husband of Nefertiti, possessed by Ashtoreth. Okay? Nefertiti was the originator of the Rosicrucians and the Masons. Okay? Baal promotes false religion and religious prostitution, as well as the shrine prostitutes. Okay? You can find that in a book wrote by J.P. Timmons, Mysteries, Secrets of the Dark Kingdom, page 114, 1991 edition. Okay? Moloch was a Canaanite deity associated with human sacrifice, mainly child sacrifice, a bronze statue with the head of an ox. A bronze statue with the head of an ox and the body of a man was erected, and infants would be placed in it to burn. Moloch may have been the Baal Hammon worshipped in the cities of Tyre and Carthage. His name means the Lord of the altar of incense. He was usually shown as an old man with ram's horn, holding a skit. Moloch was also thought to be the Adramelech of Jewish legend, an idol form of the sun god worshipped by the inhabitants of Sephir. 2 Kings 17:31. Okay, and brought by their colonists, into Samaria. Adramelech was turned into one of the 10 archdemons who appeared in animal forms such as a peacock, mule, horse, or lion. Okay. Ham was persuaded by his consort Naamah to practice ritual murder and cannibalism. The word cannibalism comes from Canaan, and the demon god Baal by eating fair-skinned persons, he was told his descendants by eating fair-skinned persons, he was told by eating fair-skinned persons, his descendants would regain their superior qualities. The lands of Israel and southern Syria once formed the empire of the Canaanites and the early Phoenicians. Archaeologists have found evidence of a divine connection between the Canaanites and the Phoenicians, linking them to the Egyptians. The Canaanite pantheon of gods is similar to that of the Egyptians because they are the same. The Hindus and the builders. Cain was of that wicked one. 1 John 3:12 was the first to use his inherited ability to do evil by killing his half-brother. Yes, Abel was Cain's half-brother because Cain was the seed of the evil one. He was the seed of the evil one, okay, who was a servant of God. Likewise, the synagogue of Satan uses all manner of evil to harm the people of God who are of the Shemitic bloodline. Okay, they try to harm they use all manner of evil to harm the people of God in their quest to take from Israel their God-given birthright. Why do they want this birthright? Okay, let me read that again. Likewise, the synagogue of Satan uses all manner of evil to harm the people of God in their quest to take from Israel their God-given birthright. Why do they want this birthright? Because one of the Adamic forefathers sold his birthright to Jacob. Now we all know the story. Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. Okay, it was believed that Esau was out in the field. He ended up killing Nimrod, and that's when he ran. And Cain ended up coming to his brother because he was famished and all this kind of stuff. And he sold his birthright because he was hungry. Okay, it's believed that Jacob gave him a bowl of red meat, which was raw meat, which is blood. So he ate and drank of the blood because Esau's people, Edom, Canaanites, they like to eat blood and cannibalism and eat meat. That's where that the ritual comes from, through the pagan Catholic Church, where they do the blood and the body and the blood. Remember me, but it's actually a pagan ritual that they're performing. It has nothing to do with Christ. Okay, he said, "Feed upon him," meaning his word and his Holy Spirit, his body and his soul, which is the new wine, which is the Holy Spirit. Okay, now, God giving the bowl. Okay, Malachi, first chapter 2 through 3, and Romans 9, chapter, verse 13, tell us, Jacob have I loved, but Esau I have hated. We read how Esau grieved his parents by marrying into the Canaanite line. Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith and daughters Beeri, okay, the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, okay, which were a grief of mine to Isaac and to Rebekah, and Ahalibama, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, okay, sister of Nebat. Genesis chapter 26, 34 through 35, and chapter 36, 2 through 3. Because we know that Esau, the Phoenicians, Rome, the Catholics, the Egyptians, all come from the same bloodline of Ham, which is the Canaanites. They're all in the mixture, okay? Because we see that Ishmael's daughter, Bashemath, also was mixed in with that, which the Ishmaels is out of the Arab, the Islam. This is where they created, through the Roman Catholic Church, they created Islam to fight against those that were considered the followers of the Most High. Okay? Now, Esau was quite the mongrelizer. Okay, the mongrel is those that are mixed with blood. Okay? Those that are mixed and have mixed themselves with other races. Okay, it's a mixed breed. A mongrel comes from the mongrelizer, the mongrel of mixed breed of different kinds of nationalities. Okay, this is what Esau has done by mixing himself, trying to white out other races. When they conquered, came down out of those mountains, the Caucasus Mountains, they began to white out other cultures, other nations, other races to conquer them. They always raped and pillaged their women and took on the identity of those that they conquered. And that is what has happened. Okay. Now the Jews that you see right now, far as this is why they always show you the Holocaust, because we don't know what Adolf Hitler was talking about unless you spoke German. You knew what he was talking about. He actually was trying to tell people that these Jews that he was exterminating, or these so-called people that called themselves Jews, were fake Jews. He actually identified the Semite bloodline for us Negroid as being Jews. He said that the real Jews were of a black race, Negroid descent. He actually called these people bastards. Okay? He actually was trying to tell people this is why they got rid of him. Okay? This is why they went to war and all this kind of stuff. Not saying that he wasn't a bad person, but he was speaking truth about what he was saying about these people that he was destroying, trying to wipe them out. Because they come into the culture, into nations, and they do this to every nation. They come in and try to wipe them out, mix their blood with everybody, and just monopolize everything and destroy your culture and take over the culture. Okay? And this is what Hitler was doing. He was trying to cleanse his nation of these people. And they go to different nations doing this. All over the world they've done this. Okay? All over the world they've done this. Okay, Esau was quite a mongrelizer, though he was of the Adamic race, and the blood of Abraham. A little leaven leavens the whole lump, and he committed genocide by marrying into the bloodline of Canaan, leavening his progeny, the Edomites. You'll find that in Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. Esau is Edom. That's how we correctly identified him. Once again, that's why Hitler was trying to cleanse his nation of these people, because they have done every nation, every race, they have done this to. They come in and conquer, they mix with them, and they take over their identities. Okay? This is what they've been doing to the Shemite bloodline, the promised seed of God, Israel. Okay? They've been doing this for a long, long, long time. Okay? It's an ancient hatred. It's not going to change until the Most High comes and cleanses us and purifies us. Okay? Because we are mixed. The iron and clay is mixed. It's been well hid. Okay? Been well hid. But what he did is chosen people, he sent them into slavery, scattered them out throughout the nations across this world to hide them from the dragon. These people are the dragon seeking to destroy the Negroid race or the Jacob bloodline. Okay? It's a spiritual and a natural thing. Okay? The natural children and the spiritual children. They're trying to wipe them out because they believe that the Holy Spirit is a spark, which is if they kill off so many that the spark will come back to their evil God, the earth will be reset back to a paradise. This is why they're trying to find ways to live forever. They're trying to make people think that they're going to get this knowledge to increase their pineal gland. The Esau, Edom, Canaanites, Phoenicians, Egyptians, and the Jews all believe this, that the pineal gland, the third eye has opened, and they are transforming into an enlightened being, that they are becoming gods. So what they are doing is trying to exalt themselves up over everybody as gods. Okay? And they're trying to, Satan, their God, has given them technology by serving them, by committing rituals, by killing off kids, and killing Jacob's bloodline to keep when you have wars and you're killing innocent people, that blood that is spilt, it creates a portal. Okay, the younger, the less sin a person has committed, the more pure his blood is. When they commit these sacrifices, it opens up portals so demons can come through. Okay, demons and spirits, they cannot enter because we're protected by the light, which is the Holy Spirit that is within us, as well as a barrier over this world. We are in a barrier of light. Okay, which is God's word that he has protected over us. But it's going to be removed out the way because God is going to allow it to be moved out of the way. But you committing witchcraft and sorcery, you can call these demons and these dark entities into your body. These bodies are only vessels for spirits to be housed in. And if you playing with Satan's stuff, you're going to get a demon. These people worship and praise. They admit to you freely that their God is Satan. There's no shame in their game. They freely admit that their God is Satan. Okay? And let's continue. The Jewish encyclopedia tells us that Edom is in modern Jewry. Okay, so we have correctly identified Esau as Edom, which are the Edomites, okay, which they are mixed with the Phoenicians and the Canaanites. But what we didn't know is the main culprit is the Jews. okay, which are the Canaanites. Okay, now some of them are mixed. They are actually the Ashkenazi Jews, the Khazar Jews, these European Jews from Khazarian. Okay, they don't possess the bloodline of Abraham. They are converts, and Hitler knew this. That's why he was trying to rid these people out of his nation, because he knew what they was doing. Okay, but it's been a big cover up and a big lie. Okay, and we're gonna get off into how these people have been doing the children of Israel, God's chosen people. The reason why this is happening is it's an ancient hatred, okay, of two brothers. Okay, Jacob I have loved and Esau I hate. Esau I hate and Jacob I love. Esau hates Jacob because God hates Esau. Okay? Jacob, Israel, the 12 tribes, that bloodline is God's favorite people. Okay? The apple of his eye. Okay? What Satan has done, he has made those people, the Canaanites, the Esau bloodline, his people. Okay? Because he said, if God gonna have a people, I'm gonna have a people too. Okay? And I'm gonna use them against God's people. Okay? That's what this is. It's a ancient spiritual hatred and war between the bloodlines. Okay? Edom is modern Jewry. This witness from 1905 edition records the connection between modern day Jews and the race of Edom. Some anthropologists are inclined to associate the origins of the Jews not with the Semites. Pay attention, not with the Semites, whose language they adopted. They adopted the Semitic language. Okay? But with the Armenians and the Hittites and the Mesopotamia, whose broad skills and curved noses they appear to have inherited. Thus, Esau/Edom was now absorbed into the Canaanite people by means of his Hittite and Hivite wives. According to Strong's Concordance, the word Canaan means trader or merchant, and the Phoenicians as Canaanites are derived from Ham. Ham's incestuous relationship with Naamah, the sister of Tubal-Cain, the wife of Noah, took with him in the ark. Genesis chapter 9, 18 through 27, chapter 10, verse 6, verse 15 through 19. Okay? Owing to the intermarriage of their forefathers with Canaanites, there were probably few Israelites without Phoenician, that is, serpents, seed, blood in their veins. Judges, chapter 3, 5 through 6. The children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons. And served their gods. The Jews claimed to be the children of Abraham. However, that they were not the true children of Abraham is certain when they say that they were never in bondage. John 8, 32 through 33. Okay, they were never in bondage. The only people that were in bondage are those that are in bondage right now and still, which are the Judah, the children of Israel, the Israelites that are scattered all over this earth. Okay, they still in bondage because he told them that no man was going to set them free. It was only going to be set free when he come back to get recompense for them, his children, by gathering these nations. This is going to be the battle of Armageddon when he gathered these nations. Okay, Now, these people that we're talking about are going to be the nations that he gathered, because what they did to his children. Okay? Okay? Now, Phoenician in Greek, Phoenician is a Greek word connoting palm tree, and as such does not appear in the Old Testament, where the locals call themselves Canaanites. The name Canaan is preserved as a coin of Laodicea of the time of Antiochus, Antiochus, and Epiphanes, whereon Laodicea is styled a mother city in Canaan. In Canaan, the Phoenicians and Canaanites were the most powerful of all tribes in Palestine at the time of its invasion by Joshua. In speaking of their own territory as it was before the conquest, the Israelites called it the land of Canaan. Okay, after the conquest, the tendency developed to call only the coastal strip, They called the territory Palestine. Okay, Phoenician Canaanites were most of the powerful tribe. Okay, and they called the coastal strip and the Jordan Valley the land of Canaan. As late as the 2nd century AD, the descendants of the Carthaginians in North Africa called themselves Canaanites. The term Canaanite came to denote the member of a Jewish sect who was a zealot or fanatic. Matthew chapter 10, verse 4. Okay, let's know in fact, okay, when those that we see, these guys on the street corners and stuff yelling at people out the Bibles, and they saying that the Gentiles, they basically trying to say that the Gentiles are only white people. No, Gentiles are nations that do not know the true Most High. They are pagan and idol worshippers. When Gentiles mean nation, that means everybody. Blacks are a nation. Hebrew Israelites is a nation. Whites is a nation. German is a nation. Spanish is a nation. So we are all Gentiles. That is what a Gentile is. It's not one specific race. Everybody's a Gentile, because the Gentiles, meaning different races, nations of people, are the ones that's going to be judged by the Most High when he comes back. Okay? Okay, the Phoenicians were the great maritime and commercial people of the ancient world and preeminent in colonization. The Romans transcribed the Greek phoenix, to Phoenix, thus calling the images to Carthage. Punic Ossitine of Hippo stated that the pheasants in his part of Africa, if asked their race, would answer in Punic or Phoenician Canaanites. In Hebrew, Canaan means merchant or trafficker. To bend the knee, bring down low, humiliate, or vanquish. Okay, this is what they do. They make you bend down. They bring you down low. They humiliate and they vanquish you by ravaging you. They would be Esau always was a great fighter. He always used force by war. That's what they do right now. They're using war. The people that are behind these wars are not our government. There are people they call the shadow government. Okay? You might want to say they're the Illuminati, but these are these Jewish cats. They own 90%, 96% of the media. They own all the movies. Anything that comes out in these movies is done by them. They are putting forth an agenda before you by media. Whatever you hear, whether you're listening to, whether you're looking at, everything that has to do with your five senses, they have did everything in their power to create things to tantalize your senses. so you can stay in tune with this world, so you can be in tune with the natural, so you won't go into deeper and spiritual things to be able to stay in communication with the Most High, because they keep you tied up into things that you don't need to be tied up into, which is the pushing of exalting the skin and the feeling, the lust. Lust is never satisfied. Okay, the eyes, the lust of the eyes, of the flesh. Okay, this is what they do. They behind all this stuff. They behind your media, your news, your music, these videos about these hip hop gangsters. They create the culture, the sagging, the butt crack is the new cleavage. They're getting you in tune with this gay stuff. Okay, this pornographic stuff. That's what they was doing over there in Germany. That's why Hitler was wiping these people out. He ran them up out of there because they came in and just took over their banks and started putting this pornographic stuff, transforming the citizens of Germany into this stuff, just like they have done with over here in America. But these people are falling for it because we as a nation are not a nation. We're concocted of different nations mixed with the children of Israel. Okay, this is what this thing is all about. They are trying to wipe out the Semitic bloodline, God's chosen people, and everybody else. These other nations, which are some of the white people, they are not in this, but they just getting caught up because of what they're trying to do to wipe out the Semitic bloodline. Everybody else is just caught up in the mix. Okay, it's sad to say, but that is what is truly going on. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, let me read that again. The Phoenicians, okay, they was traffickers bending the knee, humiliated Genesis chapter 10, 18. The families of the Canaanites would be scattered, vanquished, or spread abroad. Okay. All right, let's continue. The Canaanites, Khazar, and Edomite are all names that accurately refer to the majority of people who call themselves Jews. Now remember this symbol? This is another symbol that you can tell they speak to each other with these symbols. They recognize each other with these symbols. Okay? Judah, they have taken over Judah, the children of Israel. They got the whole world deceived, thinking that they are the children of God, the chosen ones. And they have deceived everybody. But it's not only them, because it is backed by these other Jews, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all these big industries, those that have exalted themselves up over us. Okay? Let's continue. Let's get a little bit more education out of this. Okay? Canaanite, Khazar, Edomite are all names that accurately refer to the majority of people who call themselves Jews. Now remember, okay, the name Jew originally meant a resident of Judea, which was Judah. Keep in mind, it was Judah, but it's Judea. They changed the names to try to hide themselves. Okay? Regardless of religion or race, and has long since lost any association with a true Judaite. It don't have nothing to do with the true Judah, Yahudah. Okay? They lied to people. People don't even know who Judah is, but we're finding out. We're waking up in this last day. Okay? Waking up in the last day. Jesus made this clear in Revelations 2:9. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. And in Revelations 3:9, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Indeed, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Now, who is he talking to? He's talking to the children of Israel. Okay? The 2 tribes of Judah and the 10 tribes of Israel. Okay, that's who he's talking to. Okay, the Phoenicians spoke a form of Aramaic. They spoke a form of Aramaic. It was a Semitic language in common with the Israelites. Tyre, Sidon, Bablos, and neighboring towns, and in other areas of the Mediterranean colonized by Phoenician people known as the Armenians. It was most closely related to Hebrew, Syriac, Moabite, which were written in script derived from the Phoenician alphabet. The earliest Phoenician inscription deciphered dates probably from the 11th century BC. The latest inscription from Phoenicia proper is form the 1st century BC. Is from the 1st century BC, when the language was already being superseded by Aramaic proper. The language spread to its colonies in the North African city of Carthage, a later stage of the language known as Pun. Latin, Punica, Phoenician, which was influenced by the Berber, became the language of the Carthaginian Empire. The Phoenician survived in use as a vernacular in some of the smaller cities of North Africa, at least until the time of St. Augustine, Bishop of Hippo, 5th century AD, and continued to be used by North Africa peasants until the 6th century AD. Phoenician words are found in Greek and Latin classical literature, as well as in Egyptian, Akkadian, and Hebrew writings. The language written in the 22-character alphabet adopted by the Hebrews does not indicate vowels. Does not indicate vowels. Okay? In the Babylonian inscriptions, the Akkadians were called, pay attention to this now. In the Babylonian inscriptions, the Akkadians are called the Blackheads and the Black Faces, in contrast to the white race of Semitic descent. They lived in southern Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, and worshiped the Trinity as El, or Elu, the Father God, Ea, God of the earth and creator of man, and Enlil, the God of the air. Okay, the early Elu can be seen as the Canaanites and Assyrian El for God, and also in Hebrew such as Elohim and El Shaddai. The Sumerians, who lived in the same region and date to the same period, invented cuneiform writing, but were distinct from the Semitic Akkadians, and they spoke a they spoke a unrelated language. Ea was known the Sumerians as Enki. In Sumerian, En denotes kingship, the way we use Lord in English. Enki means literally Lord of the earth. The Sumerian word lil can mean air, breath, or spirit. It can mean air, breath, or spirit. The similarity between the Sumerian and Akkadian Trinity of the Holy Spirit of the Roman Catholic form of the same Trinity should be obvious. Okay? The pantheistic religion of the Phoenicians was a constant temptation to polytheism and idolatry. Polytheism and idolatry. As a great commercial people, the Phoenicians were more generally intelligent and civilized than the inland agricultural population of Palestine. When simple-minded Jews without a revelation came in contact with this more versatile and apparently more enlightened people, they came in contact with this more enlightened people. Some would tend to regard their exclusive devotion to the god somewhat unsocial and morose. In some such way, we must account for the astonishing fact that Solomon himself, the wisest man to whom Jehovah is expressly stated to have appeared twice, once not long after his marriage with an Egyptian princess, on the night after his sacrificing 1,000 burnt offerings on a high sacrificing 1,000 burnt offerings on a high place of Gibeon, and the second time after the consecration of the temple, should have been so far beguiled by his wives in his old age as to become a polytheist, worshiping among other deities the Phoenician and the Sidonians goddess Ashtoreth. That's in 1 Kings chapter 3, 1 through 5, chapter 9, verse 2, chapter 11, verse 1 through 5. And probably according to his own erroneous concepts, he never ceased to regard himself as a Lord worshiper of Jehovah. Okay? Never considered himself a Lord worshiper of Jehovah. But at the same time, he deemed this not incompatible with sacrificing at the altars of other gods likewise. Still the fact remains that Solomon, who by his temple in its ultimate results did so much for establishing the doctrine of God, died himself a practical polytheist. And if this was the case with him, polytheism in other sovereigns of inferior excellence can incite no surprise. With such an example before him, it is no wonder that Ahab, an essentially bad man, should, after his marriage with a Sidonian princess, not only openly tolerate but encourage the worship of Baal. Jezebel built a great temple with 3 altars, one for each of the Trinity: Baal, Ashtar, and Moloch. This is the unholy Trinity, which is Baal, Ashtaroth, and Moloch. Okay, and although before the reformation of Josiah, 2 Kings 23, polytheism prevailed in Judah as well as Israel. Yet it seems to have been more intense and universal in Israel, as might have been expected from its closer proximity, okay, to Phoenicia. And Israel is sometimes spoken of as if it had set the bad example to Judah. 2 Kings 17:19, chapter 17:19, and Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. The Phoenician religion sanctioned the dreadful superstition of burning children as sacrifices to their God. Jeremiah chapter 19, verse 5. They have also built in the same name of the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings to Baal, which I command not, nor speak it, neither came it into my mind. Also see Jeremiah verse 32, 35. Verse 35. Okay, more than 250 years after the death of Jeremiah, more than after 250 years after the death of Jeremiah, after the death of Jeremiah, all right, where am I at? After the death of Jeremiah, more than 250 years after the death of Jeremiah, the Carthaginians, when their city was besieged by the Agathocles, when the city was sieged by the Agathocles and offered as a burnt sacrifice to the planet Saturn, that black cube that they be marching around. Okay, at the public expense, 200 boys of the highest uh, aristocracy, and subsequently, when they had obtained a victory, sacrificed the most beautiful captives in the like manner. Furthermore, parts of the Phoenician religion, especially the worship of Ashtaroth. Ashtaroth was the fertility god. Baal was a fertility god. Baal was a big metal iron god that they created, an idol with a bull head with a man body. They would heat this thing up, get it as hot as they could, and they would put their children on it. Their children would be cooking and crying out, but they would strike up the music. They would have orgies in front of this thing, okay, to appease their God. To appease their God. That's what child sacrifice is. The modern day child sacrifice is the abortion. These abortion clinics are witchcraft clinics. They are getting the daughters of Judah to commit. They were beguiled by the Esau bloodline, boiling down to the Canaanite, the Jewish. This is the Jewish trick of the dragon to get rid of the bloodline of Jacob, Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, trying to get rid of the bloodline of the 12 tribes, okay, through abortion. And these young black Negroid descents are falling for it. They're falling for it. They don't realize what they're doing. The Most High always birth his leaders through his people. And if we are committing abortion, we are cutting off the prophets from that God is trying to get here. Okay? And this is the Canaanites and the Jews. This is their way of doing what they did way back in the ancient days when through the Ethiopian Pharaoh trying to kill off all those so they won't birth no priests or no righteous people in the land. Trying to wipe us out off the planet. That's basically what they're trying to do. But they use their trickery and witchcraft and sorcery through these other nations that are in cahoots with them. Okay? They have defiled themselves and mixed themselves with other nations and cultures. Okay? The Ethiopians, the Egyptians, everyone that comes from that Hamite bloodline has been suckered into this. Okay? This is why they always put they always have to put these slave movies on when they feel they losing the touch of the people. They put these slave movies on so the Negroid races are those of African descent, not African, but the Negroid descent, which is a Hebrew bloodline. They work up these people's emotions through these slave movies so they can have a hatred for their white brother. But it's not the white brother. Okay, they created an enemy for the Negro races so they can hide themselves because they themselves are of a different race. Okay, there are those that are of Negroid descent that have the Canaanite blood in them. And they are those that are Caucasian descent that have the Canaanite blood in them, as well as those that are of Negro descent that have the children of Israelite, the Hebrew blood in them, and the Caucasian that have the Hebrew line of Abraham in them as well. But they trip you up by confusing you with this shock and awe through these movies. Okay, and whenever they push these slave movies and get blacks angry at whites, they got to keep stirred up because they get paid. They're getting paid off of your sin. They getting paid. They making money off of the children of Israel, Judah, the Hebrew line. They making money off of you by keeping you in these prisons to get longer terms for some old messed up law that you broke, which is supposed to be a misdemeanor, but you getting years, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, you get longer sentences to keep you in the prison system. Because this is what they do. They are making money off of your sin, which is making money off of your skin. Okay? They got to keep you in the sins so you won't wake up and realize who you are. Because if you are in tune in this world, that's why the Most High say, come out of this world. Don't be associated with those that are not associated with light. Be separate. Be set apart from these people. Don't be like these nations that are around you. Okay? And that's for the Caucasian brother that possessed the Hebrew bloodline as well. Okay? It's not just a separate of just the Negro race, but they are his chosen people. But it's a bloodline that everybody belongs to, as well as a natural and a spiritual thing. Okay? We have to keep this in mind because we both have the same enemy, but they have used sorcery, trickery, witchcraft, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and all this old crazy stuff to keep us at odds with each other so we don't recognize who the real enemy is. By doing this, they have gotten themselves up over us. Now they control us and they rule us. Okay? They're in control of the media. They control what we watch. They feed it to us. And we, like sheep, those that don't possess the spirit of the Most High, is falling for this stuff. They tell you what to dress, how to dress, what to wear, how to look, how your hair is supposed to look, and people are going to do this stuff because they put this stuff in you and brainwash you into doing these things. That's why Hitler tried to kill these people out. He tried to get rid of them out of his country because he knew what they was doing. He knew that they was fake. The Khazars and the Ashkenazis, these are Jewish converts. Okay? Just like these people claiming to be preachers and called to be preachers, there is only one tribe that are supposed to be the priests, which are the Levites. So how is it that everybody from these other bloodlines, these races, call themselves being priests? Even some of the African American priests that call themselves getting these churches that God told them to start a church, they are not of the tribe of Levite. Okay, this word right here is going to cost people their lives when they come into this truth. Okay, it's going to come a time when telling this truth is going to cost people their lives. Okay, and this is what is meant in the word by sacrifice your life for your brother, meaning tell the truth. Let these people know so they can wake up, so they can come back to the Most High. Okay, because people have been lied to and just been controlled by a certain race of people. Okay? Now we're gonna get into something a little deep here. Okay, let's continue. The Canaanites originated the practice of demon worship, occult rites, child sacrifice, and cannibalism. Okay? They sacrificed children to Molech, a Semitic god. Okay? In Palestine, numerous bodies of children were discovered. They were discovered in the foundations. They were discovered in the foundations of the buildings, proving without a doubt that oblations of this character were common among Canaanites to strengthen the walls of homes and cities. They put the dead bodies of these people, the children that they sacrificed, in the walls to strengthen their foundation with their bones. This is how evil these people are. These people, they claim trying to Kemet and Hotep and all that. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. You need to do some studying. Okay? Need to do some studying and wake up and find out you don't want to be a part of these people, because these people got something coming. The Most High got something for them. Okay? Okay, buildings proving without a doubt that oblations of the character were common among Canaanites to strengthen the walls of homes and cities. The priest of the gods, Isaiah, chapter 57, 3 through 5, they practiced their horrible rites in groves, Bohemian Grove. They still do it today. These leaders, your political leaders, the Kabbalah, the Tamar, the Babylonian Tamar is Jewish witchcraft. These are the religions that they brought from the Babylonian. Okay, this is what they practice now through Egyptology, the Freemasons, the Eastern Stars, the Skull and Bones, Aleister Crowley, and speaking of Aleister Crowley is Barbara Bush's daddy. Okay, this is why your presidents are not chosen. They're not. Your vote doesn't matter. Okay, these presidents are picked from a certain bloodline. Okay, they're not chosen by popular demand by your vote. They are chosen through bloodline because they have to keep their bloodline up over you. Okay, now the only way you're gonna be able to figure this out is Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, who is of the Jewish bloodline. That's who they going. It's probably both of them, but they all are some kin. The last 8 or so many presidents have all been some kin to each other. Okay, they all been some kin to each other. Okay, now let me continue because I got a little bit more. These are the Canaanite symbols, which are the Jewish symbols that they pushed on the Catholic Church and through Islam all over the world, okay, all throughout these different cultures. But they keep showing you images like this to make you feel sorry for them, to make you think that they are the children of God, and they are not. They are imposters. They are liars. They are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? They are the synagogue of Satan. Anytime they come out with these slave movies showing blacks coming over, they try to get them stirred up so they can be angry with the whites. Then they show you this Holocaust stuff, then they collect millions and billions of dollars off of somebody else's suffering. Okay? Off of somebody else's suffering. These are the Canaanites, okay, that have hid themselves among everybody. They have hid themselves among everybody. Okay? And they're going to have to pay for what they did to the Most High's children. Okay? All right, now let me get on down here for my time run out. Okay? Let's find out what else these people did. Okay? Now, I told you this is going to be more of an education. Like I said, I'll put the link to what I'm reading into the description or either into the comments where you can go look at this stuff for yourself. Okay? Let me read a little bit more of this. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the Canaanite, the last will and testament. Okay? Matter of fact, let's look at the Canaanites' political party included the Pharisees. Okay? Now that sounds familiar. I believe that because that's what the words say. How Jesus ousted them, told them that they are the seed of their father. That's why they crucified him. Okay? They include the Pharisees. Now these are all the people that are going to be brought together from northeast, west, and south in the land of Armageddon, in the valley of Armageddon, this big battle that they call themselves getting ready to fight Christ. Okay? The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Zealots, the Essenes, Assassins, the Herodians, and the Scribes. They are also divided into the Amorites, the Hittites, the Moabites, the Midianites, the Philistines, the Ammonites, the Edomites, the Zidonians, Sepharvaims, the Perizzites, and afflicted and affiliated tribes. Later, the Edomites descended from Esau, intermarried with the Turks, and became known as the Khazars, who eventually occupied present-day Israel. Okay, they are not the true bloodline of Aaron. Aaron is where the Levite priest tribe come from. These so-called bishops, pastors, if they are not from the Levite bloodline, this is why the Most High says on that day, people going to be talking about, Lord, Lord, didn't we do this in your name? He going to be like, get away from me, work of iniquity. I don't know you, because they were not the Levite priest. Okay? These people are doing what they want to do. They are getting paid off of other people's sin. They have found a way to exalt themselves over people. Those that are low are going to be exalted by the Most High. Those that are exalted over the low will become the low. Okay? This is the natural order of things that the Most High is going to come back and correct through his people that have done this to his children. Okay? And have done this through his children. And they laugh at you. They sitting back laughing, getting paid off of your sin. That's why the Most High says, come out of her. Do not mingle. Or what does light have to do with darkness? How can a child of light be associated with those of darkness? Okay, but let's take a look at what these guys are doing. Okay, they have a will. Okay, just like the Apostle Creed, these guys have a will. The last will and testament of Canaan read, love one another, love robbery, love lewdness, hate your masters, and do not speak the truth. The Babylonian Talmud says 5 things did Canaan charge his sons: love one another, love robbery, love lewdness, hate your masters, and do not speak the truth. Okay? This is what's going on right now. That those that have exalted themselves over the ones that they are actually supposed to be serving. And because of this, the children of Israel have not became a nation. They have not acted out the way God had intended them in this world, in this land. He's going to correct it and cause them to be on top. And these imposters are going to have to be brought to them and made bow down by the Most High, so he can prove that he loved the 12 tribes of Israel because of what was done to him by these other nations. Okay, these 5 points have been the modus operandi of the Canaanites for 3,000 years. The wheel of Canaan today remains the operating instructions of the Canaanite heirs. They presently control the world. At the same time, it remains unknown to the peoples whom the Canaanite continue to rob, enslave, and massacre. The instructions are a command to commit genocide. Pay attention. It's an instruction to commit genocide against the people of Shem. You'll find that in Genesis chapter 27, verse 39 through 41. Okay, now, like I said, this be educational, but the main point is that there is a race of people that have exalted themselves, and those that claim to be the Hebrew Israelites that have got this knowledge without the Spirit. They think that the Gentiles are only white people, but Gentiles are nations of people that don't know the Most High, and it transfers back and forth between the Gentile and the heathen. These are nations of people that don't know the true Most High, and they do idol worship and paganize and all this other stuff that the world has us doing, which is by these people, the Jews. And they sit back laughing at us. Because all they said, we got these people. We created big screen TV with Camel, and we were watching them watch what we put up, our product, watch our movies. They smoking our Black and Milds, they smoking our Newports, they're drinking our liquor, and it's slowly killing off these people. They are having abortions because we telling them to, we're tricking them, we're subliminalizing them, we're manipulating them, we're brainwashing them, we're giving them our unrighteousness by withholding righteousness. We are teaching them our sins and at the same time, we are withholding righteousness. Okay. Now, I hope somebody got something out of this. Like I said, I'll put this link so you can go read more of this for yourself, because it's a good read. Okay. It's a good read. Okay. Once again, thanks for joining me. Okay. Now, you guys be blessed and have a safe weekend. Okay. And let's get more studious about our studies and get what we can, because this truth is not going to continue to be on these websites, because they own these websites as well. I'm surprised they letting this stuff stay up there as long as they letting it stay up there. But when somebody come out with some real truth, they block certain things, because certain things that I've tried to upload and bring forth to show people the truth about what's really going on, they won't let me get it up there. They shut me off, cut me off, or they'll even mess with my whole channel where I can't even get nothing up there. Okay, I got to find other means of trying to get the truth out. Okay, now, you guys stay vigilant. Okay, stay prayed up, fast, seek the Most High's faith. Okay, seek his face. Okay. Oh my God, I keep you guys in my prayers. You guys have a blessed one. I shall return.